Yes.
Bill, let me ask you a question. On those QuickBooks in the year 2009, in August of 2009, there was $2 million moved from Georgia Farm 1 that went to Magnolia Bank to purchase the CD.
Quiet, please.
During that same time period, that year, there was a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks. Why was there a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks?
I don't know about the QuickBooks.
Mr. One, do you know why there was a $2 million adjustment?
It had to go through the bank. Ask Ms. Morris Bank. She can explain to you. When we moved that CD from Magnolia,
Next we'll move to old business. And we have the audit discussion. And Mr. Basker, would you please come forward? Thank you. Go ahead.
First off, I guess y'all know me. I'm the person that's brought in to do the forensic audit. 6 months going on now. Haven't gotten through getting my engagement letter approved, believe it or not. I'm trying to find out. Sure, I'll let you know. I watched the YouTube video that was done 2 weeks ago, so I saw what was said. Heard a lot of it. Some of it I couldn't make sure what it was being said. So I want to clear some of that up. First off, I want to make sure whether or not my engagement letter has been approved by our attorney. Mr. Jones, did you approve my engagement letter?
I looked at the engagement letter. I don't have any objections to it.
You have no objections. Okay.
And during the last council meeting, it was stated that at the time you submitted your engagement letter in February, Mr. Boone was the senior attorney. He would ask whether he had a chance to look over it. He indicated that he did look over it once he received it. It took him a while to get it. But after he looked over it, he said he had no objection to it either.
So I can assume then that the council accepts the fact that my engagement letter has been approved by the attorney. Okay.
You never gave it to
Go
him.
ahead.
You never gave it to him, Mr.
You want to talk about that?
Yeah, I remember I sent you a letter, and
how did I respond to you on that letter?
You refused to produce it and said I had to go see the mayor, which is a violation of open records.
Is that what I told you? You had to go see the mayor?
Yes.
No,
You
that's
said
not
I
what I
said,
said.
yes.
Let me pass out exactly what was reflected to everybody.
I'm trying to get a copy of it just for that reason. So
I will give you a copy. You already have a copy, but I'll give you another.
I didn't at the time. You didn't get it.
This thing will.
It's correct. You sent me an email. I'll let everybody get it first. Seriously. Can somebody get my
well, I took one. Let's see what, here's
I'd like just to do that. Anyway, you sent me an email and you asked me for a copy of my engagement letter. And my response was, it was best to get it from the mayor. I did not deny it to you. I did not say you could not have it. I was not obstructing you from getting it. I said it was best for you to get it from the mayor. And there's a reason for that. I was in there doing my audit. I'm being paid by the hour to do it. According to the billing rates around here, it's probably fairly high. In Atlanta, it's not that high. I brought my rates down for the local area. The mayor, Tawana, and Heather are all civil servants. They work for their salaries, and to get it from them would cost very little. To get it to me, I would have to go try to get a copy of it and try to get it to you. So that's why I said it would be best to get it from the mayor, because that is the best thing to do. I don't know why you had a problem with that, but you did.
Well, the problem, Mr. Maskey, is that the Open Records Act doesn't allow you to pass an open records request on to somebody else. Because as a contractor with the city of Gordon, you yourself are subject to the Open Records Act. Passing it on to the mayor or anybody else is not provided for in the Open Records Act. The fact that you did not provide the document or provide an exemption for not providing the document, and say passing it on to the mayor is not a permitted exemption. You were required to furnish the document whether it cost something or not. And you also could provide me with the cost of doing that, and I would have had to pay that if it was a cost to the city. You didn't do any of that.
I didn't know that needed to be done. I did what I thought was the most efficient thing to do. I was not trying to obstruct anything. I was not trying to deny you from it. I did what I thought was the best thing to do at the time, and you made a big deal out of it 2 weeks ago.
I didn't make a big deal out of
Yes,
it.
you did,
I'm just
sir.
saying you violated the law by not responding and providing.
You said,
Simple as that.
you refused to cough it up. I think it's the words you used. You made I think those kind of disparaging words to me, and I didn't appreciate you making those kind of statements, but that's the way you do business, and that's
I
fine.
didn't appreciate you violating the law on behalf of the city of Gordon either, but you did.
Here again, sir, I don't know all your laws. I did what I thought was the best thing to do at the time. So
Well, I think it's incumbent on you when you get an open records request. If you don't know, you need to find out because it's pretty serious business.
here again, sir, I
There
did
are
not know
criminal
that.
violations if you don't comply.
And a week later, your associate came to visit us again. I did not have a copy of it. I had taken it home, put it in my files, I hadn't scanned it yet, so I didn't have a copy of it. I said, he could walk down 2 steps and got it from the mayor. But here again, you want to make a big deal out of it to make me look bad in front of the council and I guess the city. So if you want to act that way, I think it's a very childish way for you to be, but that's fine.
I don't think violating the Open Records Act is acting childish.
Sir, here again, I've already explained that to you. Do you need to explain again? So we'll move on.
You did explain it again.
No, I understand what it is now. If 6 months ago, if I'd been told that it was a violation of me not to do that, then I would have done it. I had no idea.
Excuse me, counsel, would you have a seat and we need to move on to that?
Well, not as long as he's making allegations. Mayor.
Attorney, please have a seat,
Now,
or I will have to silence you.
let's say one other thing. because
Counsel, please have a seat.
If Mr. Baskett wants
Count.
to do that, he could have been subjected to sanctions, and I could have done that, but I didn't.
Okay.
I tried to work with you.
Right, thank you. Move forward.
Anyway, I managed to get in there. I was in there for about 2.5 weeks before finally I was told that I'm not going to get paid. Okay, so I left and actually did continue to still work on the audit while I was down there. It was very expensive for me to be up here 8, 10 hours, actually 12 hours a day working on this thing. So the more efficient and effective thing for me to do was to do what I could do out of Atlanta, and that's what I did. There's a lot of people sending me information. There's a lot of document requests that I had already initiated, and that was coming in, so I was working on it. I was working with Mr. Reese at Good Bit. He was sending me a lot of information. One in their office was sending me a lot of information. I was getting information from third parties, from the bank and from some other places. So I continued working on this thing, even though it was on a lot smaller, not near as many hours as it was when I was up here before. But the other thing I was a little bit surprised at in your voting is to, well, first of all, let me talk. Can I go to this individually? Terry, did you have a problem with my engagement letter?
Who?
Terry Reese,
No, sir.
you're fine with it?
No, sir. I'm fine.
Barbara, are you? You're fine with it. Has everybody had a chance to read it now?
Very good.
Okay, Terry, Mr. Edie, have you had a chance to read
I
it?
certainly have, yes, sir. I have read it. But the thing about it all was that everything is post-dated before anything was ever accepted legally. You see what I'm
What do you
saying?
mean post? No, I don't understand what you mean. What do you mean by post-dated?
This right here, that was signed by you, the mayor, is dated 2/16,
2/19.
I may have made a mistake.
Mayor,
I'm not
Jane, I wrote the letter, the date that I wrote the letter, the engagement letter, is my date. The mayor signed it on the date that she signed it. And she wrote down the date that she signed it, so it's effective the date that the mayor signed it, which is what, I think it's 2/19 or 2/17?
2/19 is.
2/19. So what is your question? Okay,
It
any other
has not
questions?
been voted on. It has never been voted on.
It was voted on, it was voted on 2 weeks ago. 2 weeks ago, it was voted on 2 weeks ago.
And what happened?
You abstained.
And
And why did you abstain? I'd like to know.
because I am not satisfied with the way you have been carrying this audit forward. There's too many discrepancies and too many things that I don't know. You have left a lot of this council out of the picture. You have purposely talked with a few people, like Mr. Reese, maybe the mayor, but you have never asked me any questions that I might help you with. You have kept me in the dark. Okay? I've talked with you. We've had conversations.
Yes, we have had
We have.
conversations. I have had conversations with you, so what
Yes,
are you
sir.
asking me?
And I told you then, until everything was legal, that everything you had done was not up to par, because it was not legally voted on. And it still has not been voted in. An abstention is a no vote. Doesn't count, one way or the other. 3 yeses, 2 noes, and an abstention, or 2 abstentions and a no and 3 yeses does not pass a motion at this table. It takes 4 yes votes, always 4 yes votes.
Okay, so,
Okay?
so the last, or 2 weeks ago, you abstained.
Yes,
And why did you abstain?
because I just told you, everything is not legal. I can't go any further than that. That is exactly the reason. It is not legal what we have done and what you have done up to this point.
I have to,
Please.
Terry,
I have a problem with this because it's not legal. I'm very ticked off. Why did we let him work here 13 days? Why didn't somebody interrupt and say, stop this, we're not gonna do it no more? You don't let somebody work 13 days. I don't let you cut 2 acres of my grass and tell you I don't need you.
Amen.
Now, if it was illegal, he should have been stopped from the start. Now, I'm gonna voice my 2 cents while I got this opportunity. I kept my mouth shut. There are a lot of discrepancies with this city money. Not what you say, but what I've seen that really goes before. We talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars, apparently misappropriated or not counted for. We need some answers. I don't think he's leaving you out this evening. It's no different when Right and Right do an audit. Right and Right never told us what went on in the audit. We sat at this table and the mayor presented what was going on. But then they met and discussed whatever. And I asked to assist or work with Mr. Bassett because I was familiar with a lot of the things, a lot of the people, a lot of the contractors, by name and stuff which he would not know. And he has had resistance from day one. The first day he came, he had to do this audit. We sat over there all day and could not do the audit when they met over here with the EEOC and the attorneys. Now, one attorney, when the mayor come back, he didn't get any information. He was here to do that audit. And the only way he got information then, there was some EEOC attorneys that went in when Mr. Bassett asked to get a copy of the file on her computer. She didn't know how to unload them or download them to his disk. One of the EEOC attorneys said that's no problem. Ever since he got there, Mr. Boone has been contending that he has tampered with the file, he has done things inappropriately. There's some stuff on those files I wish we could print for everybody to see.
Right.
Yeah.
Because there are things going on here that need to be addressed by an auditor.
and I can't,
Attorney,
I'm
just
not
have
gonna
a
stand
seat.
here and let me make accusations.
You,
I'm not
attorney,
doing
if you can't sit, then you need to exit.
that. Are you gonna let him speak and not me?
Yes, he's a council member and you're not.
He's allowed under the law to defend himself.
No, but not at this meeting.
He's not even working. He's not
You're out
gonna
of
sit
order. Chief, I need you to come. If y'all can't retain yourself, you need to exit.
Well, then you
This
need
is
to,
according to the
you need to
law.
you need to,
He's, attorney, please have a seat.
no, but he's not shielded from
Attorney.
slander law by telling stories.
My name has been slandered, so have a seat. Amen. My name has been slandered in all of this. Now, y'all don't want me to get started. Resume. Resume.
I was. there were blockades put in front of me in getting those
Go ahead and
files.
Bill.
I could not, I'm sorry. You would not let me, you did not want me to have those QuickBooks files.
That is not true, Mr. Baskett. Let me explain why.
Attorney, well, you need to have a,
Look, let me
got a riffraff here. Okay, go ahead.
Well, he's gonna stand there and lie about me. That's another story, Mayor.
Attorney, you and I are both in the same boat. These are lies about me too. I feel
Well,
you.
you got a
I
public
feel
forum
you.
to address it, I don't.
Excuse me.
I said, you have a public forum here with a gavel to address it, I don't.
Well, you
So
take
Mr.
it to
Bassett's
court.
gonna stand there and lie about it?
Take it to court. Do just like me. They taking me. You all taking me. So take yours to court. Let's have it
Mr.
right there.
Richardson sitting back
Let's have a
there
seat.
can clear up things
No,
like that.
attorney, have a seat. Resume.
It's difficult to get these files. Okay. There's
Why?
also, why?
Why?
It was said that I could not have them.
Who?
They want, I thought it was,
Wasn't
was it
me.
not you?
Wasn't me.
Well, somebody was not letting me have it. They didn't want me to have it.
I didn't care.
I found that, but I also put in a request to get canceled checks. You're in a meeting, who are all in the meeting when I sent in to say, Swan, I want a list of all these checks, and she had to sign off on it for me to get access to get them. Okay? Terry, you were in the meeting. What happened when the report came in, or the letter came in there saying, we want to get a copy of all these canceled checks? And have Swan sign off on it. Do you remember?
Yeah.
I wasn't in there, but you told me.
When they were in the mayor's office, I said, we need to whose name is on this account to sign where we could get this information from the bank, because if the name is not on the account, they're not going to release the information. She said, well, I'm not going to sign that. And the mayor said, why are you not going to sign it? Sign it. And Mr. Boone, she had to get advice from Mr. Boone to look over it. And said, well, Mr. Reese, why don't you sign it? I said, I will sign it. I don't have a problem with it. Because I can get it if my name's on the account, but I can't get the one her name's on. Well, I don't understand or whatever, but the bottom line, she did sign it after conferring with Mr. Boone. And that's how we was able to get it. And sometimes we went down there, we didn't get it. And while it's hot on my tongue, some we couldn't get from the Morris Bank locally. We had to make a trip to the corporate office in Delta. And I remember very vividly, me and the man, a couple more.
Yes.
One more person with that. When we requested some information regarding some stuff you requested for the audit, they let us sit there about an hour and a half. They put us in a room, and she said, I just talked to my attorney, and my attorney said, you need to get your attorney to call me before we can release the file. And we went to lunch, and we stated to her that we'll be back, we're gonna go to lunch. We're gonna come back and get the file. She said, well, my attorney said, you need to get y'all attorney, Joey, to call us before we can release the file. And that's kind of roadblock that we've been having trying to get information.
So it's one thing after another. So it's made everything difficult, made everything last longer than it should have.
Exactly.
But things finally started coming in, trickling in, through your open records request. Through your open records request, they've been sent to the council members, and council members sent it to me and asked me to go research this, research that. So I've been working on this based on requests from council members to do some investigation type work. And I've been moving on with it a little bit. This here again has not been full-time. I haven't worked on it that much until recently, but I went for several months without doing hardly anything. But anyway, it just, are you comfortable enough now with this, my engagement letter, to vote yes or no on it, Mr. Are you going to abstain again?
Where are you going with this?
I just want to know.
You don't force the motion on
No, I
us
don't.
or anything, you know. If you want to tell us something right now, this is your opportunity right now to move forward. Continue to tell us what you see, what you found, if you want to.
There's limited what I want to say in detail, and I've told you that several times in the past. I've talked about treasures of monies that don't make sense. I'm trying to get all sides of the entries. I can't get them unless I come down here and look at them. $25,000 movements, $50,000 movements, $200,000 movements of money. I don't know what it's for, and I can't see it because I'm being blocked from getting here to look at it. I told you that before. That things with this, so we have had conversations. You were in my hearing, I talked about some of these things too. So you can't say you haven't heard these things. And then when the vote comes up, you abstain like you haven't heard anything. And I don't understand that at all.
I do not trust what you're doing, Mr. Baskin. I'm gonna be honest with you. If you want to hear my honest to God answer, that is why. You have worked with the mayor and her personal attorney during that hearing. You have been in contact with Mr. Jones and Mr. Kendall on several occasions, you know. So why would I think you got the city's interest at best? It sounds to me like you're trying to just get to the point where you can do something to get your money. Okay? I don't think you got the city's interest at the best heart. You just said you were taking instructions from certain council members on stuff they was asking you to look for, you know. Now, if you are an auditor, a forensic auditor, and you come in to do your job, you should know the things that you're going to look for. You know, you should.
Yeah,
You should be telling us what you're going to look at, not what Mr. Reese wants you to look at or somebody else.
And I was
You
doing,
understand that?
Yeah, I understand that. Do you understand I was doing both? I was getting information from them. I had to come in and talk to the people that are working here. I talked to Twan. I talked to people behind the desk. I talked to various different council members to find out what they think are the hot issues. Where are things to look at?
Yes,
So I was using their information for me to do my investigation, in addition to all the procedures that I had already come in to do, which I was working on, which I'm now still being blocked from completing.
When you and I had the only conversation face to face next door, when you came down, that only time that I talked to you, you told me some of the things that you're saying, that you needed somebody to help you find these different things. And I said the best one to help you with that information would be the city clerk treasurer, Ms. Brown. And you told me that's probably who I need to talk to, but they won't let me talk to her. And I asked you who wouldn't let you talk to her. And what did you tell me?
I don't recall the
Okay.
But I have I talked to you about several things with this project?
I have, but I've already given you some of this information you said you don't have.
Which information?
That 25,000 to 50,000, that was all Georgia Fund 1 transfers. You've already got that whole packet.
No, I
I
don't
gave
have.
it to you twice.
I don't have the whole package. What I don't have is the check attached to the deposit
And I
slip.
sent a copy to you and to Councilman Reese.
What I don't have, and I still don't have, is the check that was attached to the back of the deposit slip. That's what I've been given what they want, what you want me to see, but I haven't got to see what I want to see. And there's a big difference. There's a big difference there. Because there are checks that are deposited that I don't have not to see. And I've asked for them time and time again. I'm not getting them.
We have given you everything that you've asked for. And some of it
I don't
was,
have the copies.
but I gave
I
it to
don't
you,
have
then you said I
copies.
don't have it. And I had documented where I gave you the copy.
I don't have
I've got it on
copies.
file.
I don't have copies of the checks that are attached to the deposit slips for these large transfers. I do not have them. Okay, simple as that. I don't have
Everything you
them.
asked for. When he gives it to me in writing, so I can make sure I'm looking at what
I
he
think it's been
wants.
requested to you in writing several times.
By maybe other people.
Requested. Okay. So you don't trust me, is that right, Mr. You have suspicions
Way
about
things to
me.
be going, no, sir. I don't put a lot of confidence in the job that you have done up to this point. No, sir, I certainly don't.
Have you ever stolen for the city?
No, sir. I do not steal. I do
I
not
just
steal.
have a question. Ask the question. Why don't you pass this down there, Bob?
Please.
I know it's a shocking question, and I apologize I have to ask it this. This is an expense report, Mr. Eady. Let me question for you. What is the policy, city policy on when one of the councilmen go out the town on an education trip or conference? What's the policy about meals?
They turn in receipt with payment.
For how many?
They do, at the convention, we do allow them to pay for their spouses and their children, grandchildren. They have been doing this for years and years. It is allowed.
Ms. Tolles, what was told to you that you went on the conference about policy?
I was told that you only pay for you and your spouse, and can take sister, brother, children, or grandchildren.
So we got a
And
conflict
that's what I
of
was told because I asked the question.
You asked the question
Yes,
before you
I
went.
did. Yes, I did.
And what did you tell her when she asked you the question?
I'm not gonna try to get us back.
I just asked you a question.
If you have anything else to ask, you can ask my lawyer.
So what is the official policy for the city?
It has always been family. Whoever your family is, whoever goes with you. Mr. Reese can back up several years ago when he had children and people he carried with him. Mr. Freddie Dinsley, if he was here, would tell you the same thing. Everybody that goes is covered under
That's a good idea. Let's ask each councilman what they think the policy is.
We're gonna roll call.
Please be quiet.
We did take family, and I did take my little girl. But now I ain't been in several years now, so I don't know what's going on. But the bottom line is, when the mayor went, the mayor personally asked me, say, when we go on these education trips, are we allowed to take family? I said, well, we used to, because me and my wife and daughter would go, and that's the only child I take, because that's the only child I had, and we stayed in the same room. There was no extra room or any stuff like
It's
that.
not talking about hotels or the conference cost and all that. I'm talking about the meal policy. Now, it sounds to me I'm hearing two different stories, but I want to hear, I did my analysis based on.
Well, back then we did pay for meals, because my daughter did eat. She was about 5,
So you
6,
paid out of your
7 years
pocket
old.
for your
No,
daughters?
I did.
Okay, Dorita, what is your understanding? Yours asking yourself, and that's what you said. And Mr. Smallwood, what did you think it was?
What Terry said, Terry.
Well, that's the case, then, but that's not the way I understood it. So,
You didn't ask the right people. There you go again. If you had asked the right people rather than be selective in who you talked to, you might have got the right answer.
Well, he hadn't asked me anything, so I'm just hearing this for the first time, and that's true. And I was told that it was,
okay. This is something that was brought up to my attention after I'm kind of pushed out of this place to research this, and with what was told me. So I did what I did based on what I was advised to do. Okay.
And you think that is a fair assessment of doing forensic stuff? Picking up on just something like this?
No, I would like to have been brought in and accepted to do this, but I'm right now working as best I can with the instructions I have of getting in here to allow to finish this job.
By who?
By who?
Yes, by who's
Whoever
telling you
abstains
anything?
when they vote on this thing is instructing me. So you tell me.
You talked about the hearing, and did I hear anything that you said or not? I heard you tell in that courtroom that day that there was $37,000 some odd dollars wrote to Georgia Power that Georgia Power said they did not receive. We came back and we found every check from Georgia Power, and they added up to 37,000 whatever few dollars. So now, did you perjure yourself on that stand that day?
No, that's the information I had at the time. I'm still trying to get information from Georgia Power to verify that, yes or no. So I did not perjure myself. I was given a copy of what was supposed to be all of the meters, all the accounts for the city of Gordon had with Georgia Power. I compared that to the payments, and I came up $37,000 short. So with the information I had, that's what I did.
And you think somebody took the money? You said somebody else may have
I
got
didn't
the
say
money.
that, sir. I said that there's $37,000 short.
Somebody may have got the money.
I said it was $37,000 short. I don't know what that means. I need to reconcile. I need to continue working on it to be able to make a determination whether that's actually was gone or not. Okay.
One other thing in that hearing that day, did you or not say you have not worked on the audit in a long time because you have not been paid? Did you not make that statement that day?
At that time I did.
Okay. The week before we had that hearing, did you and Mr. Reese or not called the county commissioner's office and talked to a Mrs. Judy Brown on a phone conference and asked
Yes, we
them.
did. We had a meeting.
Okay, yes, sir.
That's right.
Okay.
So that was the first time that I worked on this audit since back in May.
But you said you
And
had
they-
not worked on it.
I said I hadn't worked on it much. I hadn't. You go back and look at my timesheet, I have time back in, way early in the first couple of days in May, hadn't done anything until the weekend. They called me up, Mr. Reese and Mr. Jones called me up and wanted to come meet in Monticello. They had some information they wanted me to look at. So I went down there and looked at it. It's the first thing I had done in it, and figured it must, maybe 2.5 months. Is that fair enough?
What I heard, you said you had not worked on it at all. You said, I have not worked on it because I have not been paid. That was the statement I heard. I bet you I will always probably got the
I don't
credit.
recall saying that.
Okay.
I really don't recall exactly how I put it, but I had not worked on it until then. Okay. Well, so I got another finding that was brought to my attention that I want to bring out. Okay. And that's a little thing got to do with alcohol beverage tax. Let me pass this out.
You don't think
We need
people
to-
make errors?
I'm sorry?
You don't think people make errors on those? I've already picked up that, and I've already called the auditor, right, and their lady, Miss Patricia, made an entry error on that. Call them and ask them. $1,430,000 was supposed to be $21,000. It's a one-line item error. Okay? And it's a revenue, showing as a revenue, it's not a cash up. That $21,000 is what it's supposed to
Okay,
be
you
for the
made
line
an entry
item.
of $1.4 million. What was, that was a credit to alcohol and beverage tax. What was the other side of the entry?
$1,434,000.
What's the other side?
And that added together, you know, a subtract of 21 from, that's what it goes to.
What is the other side of the entry? It's a double entry accounting system. You have a credit to the revenue account. What's the debit?
It's a plus, 1434.
Yes, that's the credit. What's the debit? And to what account?
It's under alcohol beverage tax.
That's the credit. What's the debit?
Look, they're both explained. There's no debit. It says over budget or under actual budget is all it says.
You're not an accountant, are you?
No, sir, I'm not an accountant.
Hush!
Tell me the number that you're looking at or what you want to say.
Okay. Other side of the when you make in accounting systems, you have some double entry system. If you make an entry, credit the franchise tax. Excuse me, the alcohol beverage tax. You have to have a debit also to be a balance in the books. Okay. So you credit the alcohol beverage tax. You debit something else. That's what is the debit. I want to look at that. You think?
I did not make this entry, this is a year-end audit adjustment from last year.
So you don't know the other
She
side.
has sent me the correction tonight. She said she put the wrong account. I have the correction, and I will get paid for it under the circumstances.
I'll tell you what the other side of the entry was. You made an entry to the fixed assets for $1.4 million. I don't understand why you would do something like that. Or why, okay, well, who else puts information into the QuickBooks files?
I'm not supposed to be talking.
You're not supposed to be talking.
I'm not supposed to be talking.
I don't understand that either.
But I right was glad to explain it to you.
Well, I hate to say that right was wrong this time because that was not a proper.
It's a separate
It makes the
statement.
entry makes no sense. $1.4 million to fixed assets, $1.4 million credit to the alcohol beverage tax. The entry made no sense. Okay? That was brought to my attention, and so I'm bringing it up now. Okay, you say you want to hear examples of things.
I
and see
found
it.
that myself. I would look over these numbers every month.
But-
Ask Miss Brown, didn't I call her and ask her the same question? Where and why? And she told me that it was an error on Ms. Right, it comes down for.
But you didn't know what the other side of the entry was.
Yes, ma'am.
You didn't see that?
Look,
This is what they're discussing.
yeah, I think.
As a
I mean, it stands out. I mean, it's hard to miss it.
Well, I have a problem with all of a sudden, therefore, you got half that, let me say. The old saying was, where's the money, man?
Right.
As soon as you go out, the sign on the thing said, the money's in the bank. It slipped in through the back door.
Oh,
That's how I got in the bank. 1.4 million.
That money's not there.
If that money's not there, then all these figures, this is money on paper.
That's all
A
that
lot of this is money on paper.
Uh-huh.
We need in order to see exactly where we stand in liquid asset and everything else.
Exactly.
Because we don't know.
I want a clean slate, that's all.
The entry made no sense to me. I went and looked at the, if you get revenue in from the alcohol beverage tax, it goes through the general fund. I went to look in the general fund to see if there was a deposit for anywhere near that kind of money. No, there's no deposit for money. It's just a flat journal entry for whatever reason. I had no idea. And you want to see examples of things, so I brought up an example of things. You know, I don't know what it is.
It didn't surprise me. I saw it. You didn't surprise me with it. I already knew it. And I'd already questioned the right people to find out the right answer.
I wish I could come up with
right
something.
and right.
I wish I could come up with something you're not surprised about at this point in time, but the things I'm seeing, I still haven't.
Be very careful where you go with your statements. I'm not going to put up with it if you continue to make accusations, okay?
Question, attorney, I'm sorry, counsel,
Yes, ma'am.
councilman. Now, to attest to this, can you explain to me that you got on the witness stand accordingly and said that I, the mayor, is bankrupting the city by stealing grant money and all bankrupting the city, so
No, ma'am.
I can
never
agree.
said that.
Yes, you
Read
did.
the transcript. You will not see where Terry Eady said that.
The mayor's bankrupt the city, so all of a sudden, the money's gone. Where's the money? Now you put the sign out there, we're happy, happy, happy. The money's back in the bank. I want to know which door did it come in too.
This is the council meeting, not all this.
Are y'all really using type signs in town?
You're,
Tell it.
the next outburst, we will have.
They've been having outbursts the whole week.
Y'all be quiet. Everybody be quiet.
That's enough now.
As I said, the money's back, so we're happy, happy, happy. Show us how it got back. Auditor.
I can't show you how I got back. I can't get back in there and take a look. So I don't know. You know, I'm been removed from looking at this stuff. I just get things sent to me from time to time to say, look at this. This looks funny to me. That's the best I can do at this point. I still have my list of things that I want to go investigate. The transfers of monies, the investigation certainly counts. I really don't want to go into a whole lot of detail of the things I want to do because I don't want to give away the things I'm looking at. Because they could be changed and altered and purged. I don't need that to happen to make my audit even tougher. Does that not make sense?
Yes, sir.
I can't explain everything I'm going to do as I go through it. When I finish it, I'll give you a full report of everything that I see and the funny transactions that happen. That's what I'll give you.
Okay.
And I'm doing this in the best interest of the city. Okay? I wish you would just accept that. If you don't accept that, then when it comes up to vote no. Okay? Vote no. I want you to have all the information you need to be able to vote yes or no. I'd rather you vote yes, but if you want to vote no, vote no.
Keep moving forward.
Okay? Is that clear enough? That's
Bill, let me ask you a question. On those QuickBooks in the year 2009, in August of 2009, there was $2 million moved from Georgia Farms 1 that went to the Magnolia Bank to purchase the CD.
Quiet, please.
During that same time period, that year, there was a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks. Why was there a $2 million adjustment on the QuickBooks?
I don't know about the
Mr. One, do you know why there was a $2 million adjustment?
It had to go through the bank, ask Melissa Morris Bank, she can explain to you. When we moved that CD from Magnolia to Morris Bank, when we got to Morris Bank, she had to run it through the general fund account, some kind of banking transaction, okay? But that money is actually that $2 million CD that we have now at Morris Bank. It's the same $2 million transfer from place to place.
Okay, but I have a problem with the money was moved from Georgia Transfer 1. We see that in the QuickBooks. We see where the money's moved. and it decreased the amount of money that was in the Georgia transfer one down to $500-something thousand.
No.
Then, yeah, when it was $2,500,000 in there until the $2 million was moved. Once the $2 million was moved, that left $563,000 in the Georgia Fund 1. Why later on down we got an adjustment in the QuickBook for the year for $2 million?
That was another one of those year-end audit adjustments that Right and Right made.
$2 million?
But that's where it went through the bank, and they had to take it, they had to take it out of the general fund.
Now that's something that I feel we need to really look into.
But it's all their document. I found it the other day, right on the bank statement. It's all documented. And we called Melissa Morris Bank. She'll verify.
One of the problems with the Georgia One Fund was it hadn't been reconciled in at least 10 years. Okay. It needed to be looked at. And those, I was looking at the transactions, and those are the transactions I want to follow, where the money came from and where it went to. You look at all the, where all it went, all the types of the checks to make sure everything's being done the way it's supposed to be done. Okay. It just hasn't been looked at. And it's a lot. It started out with $6 million, now it's down to $5,000. I'm not saying, I don't have the same opinion that Terry has about that $2 million. But there's other transactions there I have a problem with. Okay.
It's that when we move those amounts of money, whether you say it's 25, 50, or whatever, 75, this council makes a motion at this table to take the money out of the One Georgia Fund, just like Mr. Reese tried to do that night with your $10,000 that didn't pass. We did the same thing every time. The minutes would reflect when we voted to take that money and move it. So if you could get the minutes and look back into One Georgia Fund, you would see that they would match up, and then the transaction from One Georgia Fund is an automatic transfer. They transfer that money automatically, electronically to the Georgia Bank. I can't remember which account it went in, say the money market fund or the general fund or whatever. But then to get it to the other fund, you have to move it, once it gets to the bank.
I know how it works.
Yeah.
I understand how it works.
Right.
I just want to see the full transaction. I don't want to just see $25,000 out here, showing up here, and then showing up over here. I want to see that when that money moved over here, that was the money moved over here, and it didn't come in from somewhere else. It was not reported. Okay, I want to see the check to back up the money that showed up here, so with the money that came in here, it was not just a check from somewhere else that you didn't record. It should have been recorded as revenue. Okay, that needs to be clarified. That's why I asked for the copy of the deposit slip and the check behind the deposit slip to show me exactly where that money came from. Okay, and I haven't been shown that yet. I've asked for it numerous times. There's also, I hate to reveal everything, but there was a $230,000 transaction that moved money from the general fund into the SPLOST 2007 fund. And it said to refund it. There was no money that ever came out of 2007 fund, SPLOST 2007, went to the general fund that needed to be refunded. But that was the note that was on there. So why is there a note that says refunded, but it was never taken out in the first place? Okay? Don't you think that needs to be looked at? Is there something maybe going on that needs to be investigated?
I'm sure that money and the answer is there if you ask the right people. I might not off the top of my head remember. In the past, we have had 4 or 5 different projects in this city that you have to use SPLOST money for. And sometimes to pay that money, you pay for it from the general fund, and then you take and pay it back with the other money.
Sir,
It can be.
Let me do it real quick.
Okay.
I don't just want to ask people. I want to see the documents. I'm not going to just take the word of somebody.
And
See,
the
I want to
documents
see
are there.
the actual physical evidence of what's going on.
That document should be there.
I haven't received it yet.
That's
That's my whole problem.
Sure.
There's a lot of transactions I want to investigate to see that everything is above board. Everything is fine.
Right.
That's it in a nutshell. I've told you that every time we bump into each other.
Yes, sir.
And I don't want to go broadcasting it all over the place. Like I've done tonight. But you're pushing me in this position to do this kind of thing, which is kind of silly to me. But that's what we're at. That's where we are.
So, Council, go ahead, Council.
Okay, we can get you to finish this audit. Do you have a problem with Mr. Eden sitting right off? Sitting in there and you
I don't
want
care.
Accompany.
I didn't think so. So you have no problem
No,
with him or any other council member
I didn't.
sit while you complete this audit. Am I correct?
That's correct. Anybody come in that wants to. Mr. Smallwood came in one time. Barb's come in several times. I don't think you came in once. Okay. You never came in.
He never comes.
I didn't
I was
think you
never
needed.
invited.
Well, I don't invite people. They just show up. Okay.
That's right.
It's not an invitation only. It's just I'm
we
in
have
there
an
working, and
invitation
some
to
people
that.
came in.
Councilman Eady, I'm sorry. Mr. Baskin, does he have an invitation tonight?
You have an open invitation to come in. Give me a yes vote.
Will you
Give me a no
accept?
vote. I don't.
Sir,
Just
I'll be glad to work with Mr. Basket if we get everything ironed out legally.
Well, that's fine. That's the whole point of this thing. That's why we're here to vote on my engagement letter, to get everything legal the way you want it.
All right.
And I want it legal too.
And one other thing, before we go any further, I want to say this one more time too. Your audit is not approved in our budget. You understand that? Do you know what that means? That your money has to be found and a budget amendment made to find where that money is going to come from to pay you. We have never done that. We don't have the money, to pay you. So now we got to back up and try to find a way to find that money to pay you and do a budget amendment. It has to be voted on in order for you to get paid. You understand? I mean,
Well, that's your opinion. I don't know.
that is not an opinion. That is by the state law.
Is
I
that?
can tell you what the finance chair.
We can do that.
But what I'm saying is true, Mr. Reed.
Right,
Yeah.
what you're saying is true. And we can look at some line items and find the money. Because, let me say this to y'all. I think we've dealt in mediocre stuff ever since the mayor been in here. It's time for us to act like grown folk and be the dignified Christian that some of us confess to be. Nobody's pointing fingers saying nobody's a thief, a robber, or a liar. What we're saying is, in business, we're going to be men. And this is the way we're going to operate the business. Let's get this audit complete. Let's get the standing on the city finance where we can do this budget and we can move.
I think Councilman Lee does make, it's important that if the audit were to be approved, it needs to be approved retroactively to when it was signed, the contract of engagement letter was signed in February. That way it could be paid from the time it started. So if the amendment could be, motion could be amended to add that it be retroactive to the date we started back in February. That will allow for payment for all of things that he's already done. I don't know if somebody wants to make that motion, but it could be amended. The motion is on the table to allow that it be retroactive to February 19, 2014 when the engagement letter was signed.
Attorney General, I hope that motion that we make it retroactive. Mr. Basket has worked, he's worked hard, and he's done a good job the way he could work. He's done the work, and we need to be responsible people and pay him like we need to pay all bills to people they have rendered service for and to this city. So I make that motion that it be retroactive.
I'm a taxpayer, and I have a problem.
Excuse me.
Excuse me, I have a problem.
You will have to sit down.
Control. We're the citizens and the taxpayers.
We will get to you. Just be quiet, please. I'm being nice. Motion has been made and second. Any discussion? No discussion? All in favor? Let's hear clerk call the roll.
Whipple,
I vote
Smallwood,
No. No.
Mr. Reese,
Yes.
Mayor.
Motion failed. Next item is to discuss the issue of the check to pay Middle Georgia Electric. All in favor? Let's hear clerk call the roll.
Ms. Whipple?
I vote yes.
Smallwood?
No. No.
How can you do me wrong when I'm doing you right? Baby, when I'm doing you right. Yeah, I bought you a car, house, and a diamond ring, and you're acting like I haven't done a thing. I wanna know how can you do me wrong when I'm doing you right? Tell me, baby, I wanna know how. Oh, I wanna know how can you do me wrong? Oh, baby, when I'm doing you right. Oh, yeah, when I'm doing you right. I work the full-time job, part-time job at night. Oh, yeah. Even worked on the weekends, baby, to help make ends meet. Oh, yeah. I thought I was doing you right. Baby, I thought I was doing you right. I want to know, how can you do me wrong? How can you do me wrong when I'm doing you right? That should be hard to do. Oh, yeah. I want to know how. How can you do it? Somebody tell me how. How can that woman do me wrong when I was doing her right? Oh, yeah. I was doing her right. You see, I hear the whole town whispering, talking behind your back. I hear the whole town talking, baby, whispering behind your back. I heard the lady the other day, how? Talking to another friend, she said, how? I got closer. She said, how can that woman do him wrong when he's doing her right? Ooh-wee, when he's doing her right. Evidently they see you doing things that I don't see. But what I see kind of seems right to me. But I know that something must be going on. Something must be going on behind my back. Baby, behind my back. I want to know, how can you do me wrong, baby, when I'm doing you right? How can you do it? I want to know, how can you do me wrong, baby, when I'm doing you right? How can you do it? Tell me now, I need to know.
that check presented.
Her signature is not a legal signature on the squash. So her signature is not any good on it, even though if her name's on it, it doesn't make any difference. You, Ms. Toles, and Mr. Smallwood are the only three that can sign it. Yes, ma'am, I'm sorry. But if you sign this check, it's legal right now. We've already made the motion to do that.
Exactly,
Yes, ma'am.
exactly. So
So
no problem, I just wanted.
Mr. Roberts is expecting you to sign the
Mr.
check
Roberts,
and give it to him.
we've already discussed it. I just asked him, I told him, based on what has been written, ordered by the judge, I don't want this kind of money to go out without council being aware. Are y'all aware of that, council? I
Yes,
need
but
nothing.
that's all we had said, that we would not authorize any checks to leave City Hall without the signature of the treasurer.
Exactly.
Now, her name has to be on that.
Exactly.
One other person. But now, if y'all both sign it, and she don't sign it, you in violation of the charter. Because the charter says every check is to be signed by the city treasurer and the clerk.
Exactly.
Mr. Warner holds that position.
Exactly.
Now, there's nothing wrong with signing with her,
Right,
but you two don't need to sign a check without her signature.
exactly.
But she's not on the account, though, you know.
But I'm not on
We
the-
said
she
that,
didn't need to sign.
I don't remember the accounts changing, I remember those statements were made and nothing changed.
I was taken off. Stop.
I mean, that just stands to reason. She needs to be, the clerk needs
Right,
to
you
be.
need to. We don't
I
have a
wasn't
problem.
with y'all. Y'all went down there that day and you see the signatures that we put on. I mean, they was all done on the same day. Every one of them. I understand.
Right, they've been changed, we don't know what's what. So, we don't have a problem with Pam, like you said, but the clerk is the treasurer of the, there's noise coming from the front, and I need to concentrate. So, council, are y'all with me?
Yes, ma'am, if you don't know what to sign.
Are we in agreement that the treasurer needs to be on this check? What was that, council? You might want to.
I said that we had this in one of the, council meetings, that the clerk, needs to be on all of it.
I've written the check both ways, and neither way has it been signed. I've tried everything I can do to get that check
So
signed.
y'all had a check.
My name was on it, she wouldn't sign it, and
No, I
I
wasn't.
avoided it out, and hoped that she would sign it, and still not signed. But I've done everything that I can possibly do to get that check signed, Mr. Keegan.
We will go ahead and pay him, but you put your signature right here, they're in agreement to go ahead and
Okay,
pay
but
him.
someone's gonna have to sign besides me and Mr. Smallwood, because I am not on the signature card at the bank, but I will gladly put my name on here again.
Right, go ahead.
But unless
That's the
one
only
of the
county
others
that's
sign
got
it.
it. Those are the only three that can sign.
We'll pay him.